Storybook Scrapbook with Brittany Nicole. Today I'm sharing how I look at a Ali Edwards story kit and break it up to be sure to focus on documenting the stories I want to tell that have to do with the word of the month. So for this video, I'm using the Bloom story kit, and I made a total of 6 layouts, 5 12 by 12 and 1 traveler's size, I think, notebook layout. Thanks for watching.
So here are all the 3x4 and 4x6 cards that came in the kit, and then here are all the embellishments, stickers, ephemera, and stamps. So I lay everything out.
Okay, so really quick, I wanted to share what I do when I get one of the story kits from Ali Edwards. So I already shared a photo of how I lay out all the cards, and then I lay out all the embellishments, and then I read what is on the cards. So like my story includes chapters where I rest and chapters where I bloom. And then I look at my photos for that month and think, what connects to that? And so for me, this picture of me on my sister's bed while I was in her room with my 2 dogs and having to stay in that room, in her bathroom, and having like a separate entrance, this was definitely like, in some ways I felt like I rested, and in some ways I bloomed. And so this is why I have this photo here. And then I feel like these pieces of embellishments, just bloom, learning and growing, and may the flowers remind us why the rain was necessary. I want to use all of that when I include this in my one little word project. And I also want to use this bloom piece of ephemera that came with the kit. Then the things that I haven't assigned are these stickers, the word sheet, and then I have these 2 cards left over that I might use to layer. And then I also have the stamp set. So I'm just gonna share with you guys the rest of the little things I put together. It's almost like my stash to sketch kits, but not quite. So for this one, I took this card, this card, this card, and this card, and decided I wanted to use this embellishment, this embellishment, this embellishment, and this embellishment with this photo. And I wanted to use this photo because this photo has to do with these words. And then I may use this phrase, or I may use this as just a layering piece for the colors. I haven't decided yet. But I know I want to use all of this with this photo, and then I will add these and these as I go, and maybe the stamps. So that now is a second layout I'll get to make from the Bloom kit. Now that one I'll probably do 12 by 12. Now another 12 by 12 layout I want to create is using these 2 4x6 cards, using this 3x4 card, this 3x4 card, and this 3x4 card. Now I chose this 3x4 card, this one, and this one because of the story I'm gonna tell using this photo. And I chose to use these for layering purposes. And then I chose this piece of ephemera growth because it's part of the story. Just bloom ephemera because it's part of the story. And then here it says, love watching these things grow. I most likely am going to cover this up so you just see grow. And then I'll add these pieces as I see fit, as well as potentially utilizing the stamps. So that would be the third layout I know I'm going to get from the Bloom story kit. Now the fourth layout I'm going to get uses 2 3x4 cards, 1 4x6 card, a circle piece of ephemera, another circle piece, a label with the word bloom, 2 pieces of chipboard tags with quotes, corkboard sticker ephemera. I'll be using this photo, and the reason I put all this together has to do with it started with this quote, has something to tell, I, you, we bloom, you bloom. I have a very specific story to tell about me blooming, Gareth blooming, and then how that helps us bloom. And then, like all the other ones, I'll see fit to add these, maybe some stamps. Most likely, I might pull like a couple things from my stash, but not too much. So now that would be the 4th layout I would be able to make from the kit. Then I have this 4x6 card, this 4x6 card, a 3x4 card, these pieces of ephemera, this phrase, and this photo. I chose this photo and this card to go together because of the story to tell. I chose this to use for layering purposes, and then I chose this one to use as well to get this color on the layout. So now that's 1 2 3 4. So now this would be my 5th layout, my 3rd 12 by 12 layout I plan to make, but this would be my 4th 12 by 12 layout, but my 5th layout in total that I'd be making from this kit. So then the very final layout I plan to make, which would be my 5th 12 by 12 layout, but 6th layout in total using this kit, is using this 4 by 6 card, this 3 by 4 card, these 3 pieces of, like, I don't know what these would be called, flower transparencies, chipboard, label, slow and steady, and then I want to use this photo. And I chose these 2 cards because of the story I want to tell. And I also kind of felt like because of the yellow ball, this color goes well with this. And then just like all the other layouts, I'll use these up as I see fit. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I remember I used to subscribe to Allie Edwards' story kit and story stamps like a long time ago. And I just got overwhelmed and I never really used them. And the reason I subscribed to them this year, I started with a 6-month subscription, was because I really wanted to see, or I wanted to focus more on documenting my story and be more thoughtful in my journaling and in my reflecting process. And so I find that being able to use these kits, like this is my evening kit, being able to use these kits really helps me focus on getting that document piece. I do have a layout share coming up where I share some layouts that I made using the Connect kit, the Hope kit, and the Action kit. For Hope and Action, it was a little different because I only had access to the printables because my physical kits were actually in Canada and I was in Florida. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is, I don't know, this is either Action. Yeah, I think this is Action, or no, this is Hope. I don't know. All this to say is that 2 of my kits, I had to only use printables. And so I'm actually looking forward to being able to maybe even use the real product. But I thought it'd be interesting to share with you guys how I approach using the kits. And now I'm going to show you guys an insert I'm making for my One Little Word album. So for my One Little Word album for April, like I've kind of shared, April was a little rough in the beginning for me, and so with everything going on, I wasn't able to do all the journaling, etc. for the month of April. But I definitely wanted to connect the word bloom from the story kit with my One Little Word balance. And so I chose this photo of Ryder, Bailey, and me. I was stuck in my sister's room, which is really not meant for a grown adult and 2 dogs, 2 very active dogs, especially when you can't really go anywhere else because other people in the house have COVID, so you have to stay in a certain wing of the house. I chose this story card because it says, "My story includes chapters where I rest and chapters where I bloom." I kind of feel like I have to be blooming always, like growing always, to be successful. And so this really resonated with me because there is a component to it where it's okay to rest as well. Sometimes we just need to kind of soak things in before doing things. There were days I was so overwhelmed I felt like I couldn't move because of everything that was going on. And so this really resonates with me. Now, this doesn't give me like tons of room to play around with, so I'm probably going to trim this down just a smidge. Let me do that. There we go. So I am going to keep the 3x4 card on top. I'm going to keep this on the bottom. I'm going to use this to layer the photo. And then I'm just going to use my paper trimmer to the side of my desk really quick to trim that. There we go. And then I'm going to get this. Now, when I use these One Little Word documenting, I try not to use foam adhesive or anything like that. Hello, I apologize for the interruption. I kind of forgot where I left off. But what I was saying is I wanted to keep the square photo on the bottom because it seems heavier to me than the 3x4 cards, so I've adhered those. And I'm trying to keep things pretty flat on these layouts because this is only the month of January through March, and as you can see, it's time for a new album. So I'm trying to, be a little smarter. Now, with this green color, if I put this here, I'm gonna want some green to balance up here. So I gotta think about that. And then I'm gonna add this tag here, learning and growing, and I actually think I'm going to put the Just Bloom right here because it's coming off of here. And then I'm going to place this here. There we go. And then I want to remember that this is for the word bloom. So I do want to use the word bloom on here, and I'm going to put it right there. And then I want to look at these stickers and see if any of them kind of have to do with the story I'm trying to tell. And I definitely think my journey does. So I'm going to fill that in right there. And I kind of want to put one here as well. Growing pains definitely applies to this photo and learning to balance. And then I think I'm going to use the word beautiful because the quote says, "May the flowers remind us why the rain was necessary." And so we're going to go like this. And then I am going to add some of the flowers. I want to stick with the pink ones. I'm going to put this one here because it doesn't have as much space. And then the big pink flower I'm going to put at the top because it has a lot of space. And then I'm going to put this pink flower. You know what? I'm going to put, no, I like it there. It makes the most sense there. And then you know what I'm going to do? I don't like that flower there, so I'm going to take this lighter pink leaves and just have them sticking out of the labels and word sticker to kind of add some texture. And so this is what I want to do. The whole point of my one little word is to keep it simple, not get too crazy, and I'm trying not to make my pages too thick. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day.